everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Grab your coffee. Yes, maybe a snack or two, and let's get into it. So, I have a new microphone here, okay? I hope you guys can hear me better, all right? Please let me know, okay? So, what we're going to be talking about today is what's going on at the southern border, okay? This is going to be an ongoing issue. You know it as well as I do, okay? So, as of right now, a recent DHS intelligence report received by the Border Patrol, okay, has instructed the agents there to look for Venezuelan inmates released from entering the U.S. And the report reviewed by Breitbart in Texas indicates that these Venezuelan governments, under the leadership of Maduro Moros, okay, is purposely freeing these inmates, including some convicted of the most heinous crimes, okay, and they're being released and being sent towards our way. All right. Now, this intelligence report warns agents the freed prisoners have been seen with migrant caravans traveling from Tapachula, Mexico, toward the U.S.-Mexico border as recently as July. So the source, not authorized to speak to the media, told Breitbart, Texas, the move is reminiscent of a similar action taken by Cuban dictator Castro during the Mariel boat lift in the 1980s. The report does not state whether the released prison inmates were traveling as a cohesive group, but does state it was commonly shared knowledge among the migrants traveling to the U.S. within a caravan in July that many of the Venezuelan migrants in the group were convicts and included hardened criminals. And this report does not specify the release of the convicts, understanding that they would head to the United States could be a purposeful geopolitical move specifically intended to impact the U.S. national security. Another information gap cited in the report acknowledges the unknown role of the Bolivarian National Intelligence Service, or CEBIN, and this is Venezuela's equivalent to the CIA. They may have played in the deliberate releases. And the source says that the task of identifying Venezuelans who have criminal records in their home country is nearly impossible. Of the thousands of Venezuelan migrants surrounding along the U.S.-Mexico border daily, most, according to this source, are being released into the U.S. And without effective diplomatic relations with Venezuela, the source says access to criminal databases in that country simply does not exist. And it was said that unless we apprehend someone who voluntarily tells us they have committed a violent crime in Venezuela, we can only guess, and that does not work well. They will more than likely be released. And this source says it is unknown how many have already been released into the interior of the U.S. to pursue asylum. And according to CBP, between October of 2021 and July of 2022, more than 130,000 Venezuelan migrants have been encountered after entering the U.S. illegally. in all of the fiscal year of 2020, less than 5% have been apprehended. This represents an increase of nearly 3,000%. In one Texas-based Border Patrol sector, single groups of hundreds of mostly Venezuelan migrants enter the United States daily. And the report does not specify the location or the destination of the released convicts, but the frustrated by the increased number of migrants crossings along the southwest border, Republican governors from Texas, I'm sure you've heard about what they're doing from Texas and from Florida, okay? They began transporting the migrants, mostly Venezuelans, to Washington, D.C., New York City, Chicago. A few buses ended up going to Martha's Vineyard. So these migrants, okay, were quickly shuttled from the wealthy island of Martha's Vineyard by the National Guard soldiers to nearby Joint Base Cape Cod. Okay, so I'm sorry to say, but unless something happens quickly, we're going to see, I believe, an uptick in migrants across the southern border being brought into our cities, into our towns. And if these are violent criminals that are being released from the prisons in these other countries and sent to this country, ladies and gentlemen, I fear for our safety. I really do. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fearless.